So my Uncle Carlos, who hates pretty much every movie, told me that this film was badass a while back, so I bought the Blu-ray the other day and I finally watched it. This review will have spoilers on the entire film, fair warning. So the movie starts out with Mel Gibson picking up his daughter. He's a cop in Boston and he hasn't seen his daughter for a while. She gets sick at home and when he opens the door to take her to the hospital, BAM! At first everyone thinks that they came to kill Gibson but his daughter got in the way, but he starts to do some snooping and finds out that basically his daughter's boss had her killed. He gets revenge and dies in the hospital and his daughter's ghost walks him to heaven. I'm pretty sure that's what this was going for, and it's an okay ending, it's just kind of awkward. I fell asleep 5 times watching this movie. I had to keep coming back to it the next day and rewinding the last scene. It starts out cool enough. You really don't expect to see his daughter get killed right at that moment, but it tells you straight away in the trailer that his daughter dies and he's looking for revenge. That's the sell of the movie, and it was still a holy shit moment when she died, which is good, but after this, the film gets so boring. I came into this film wanting to see Mel Gibson kill some motherfuckers, just like he did in the good old days. And he does kill some people, mostly at the very end, and I mean the very end. And there is a few deaths in between, but most of the movie is just talking. It's supposed to be a mystery of why his daughter died, and they just went way too overboard with all of that. To sum it up, his daughter worked for some company that makes weapons of mass destruction, and they were using foreign parts so they wouldn't be tracked back to them, or something like that, and she wrote the senator a letter so they could be arrested, but the senator was in on it and they killed her. Simple enough, right? But they spend the whole goddamn movie figuring this out. It was so unnecessary and dragged out. This movie needed way more action and way less talking. There is one other holy shit moment when Gibson is talking to his daughter's friend or someone she knew and she tells her that she was poisoned, that's why she was sick in the beginning, and right then when she gets out of the car, BAM! That was a cool death, but the car is going 60 miles an hour and hits her exactly when she gets out, so he would have to have known the exact moment she opened the door, and there's no way he could have planned that. And if they poisoned her daughter, why would they come back and shoot her? She was going to die from the poison anyway. Then I thought Gibson was using a machine to find a recording device they had put in his house, but it leads him to the milk in the fridge. Then he pours the milk in the villain's mouth because it was the poison. What the hell kind of machine finds poison like that? Fucking stupid. There's a few other things I could talk about, but it's all pretty stupid and pointless. Mostly boring. This sounds kind of bad to say, but I wish they would have made the film more generic. Like someone was trying to kill Gibson and they killed his daughter and he goes around killing people to get revenge. That's what the trailer sold us on and that's what we wanted to see. Yes, it's a common formula for revenge flicks, but there's a reason why they make so many movies like that, because when it's done right, it's badass. And this film has a few badass moments, but not nearly enough. It went for this dumb mystery about his daughter and I just stopped caring halfway through. Like I said, too much talking, not enough killing. The absolute best thing that came from this film was when Mel Gibson did a morning interview with Dean Richards to promote this film, and it gets so awkward. Sorry about the volume on this TV clip, it's the best version that I could find.
Edge of Darkness really made me feel like I was visiting with an old friend. It seemed like very familiar territory for you.
First, the guy tells him this film was like visiting an old friend, which is just a passive-aggressive way of saying, I've seen this movie before. But of course he doesn't have the balls to just say it.
A little bit tougher to do some of the stunts than back in the day in the Mad Max and Lethal Weapon days.
Then he asks him, was it much harder doing stunts now than it was before? Which is just calling him old. At least Mel Gibson has hair, unlike this asshole. Mel Gibson could kick this guy's ass in 2 seconds. But once again, Mel acts like a gentleman and gives an honest answer, ignoring his passive aggressiveness.
And, everybody that I know who's from the Boston area or Northeast ask, what's Mel's accent like? I'm from Chicago. What do I know from all that? But it seemed pretty believable to me.
Then he says he thinks his Boston accent in the film was just believable, basically saying it was okay, nothing great. But Mel keeps calm.
Mel, everybody has been asking why you took the 7 years off from starring roles.
Then he asks him, why is this the first movie that you starred in the past 7 years? How many movies have you starred in the past 7 years, Dean? Absolutely none. How many movies have you been in ever? None, because you're too ugly. How did you even get this job? By now you can tell that Mel Gibson is getting pissed off, but he controls himself.
Do you feel like you're a different person, maybe a better person than you were 5 years ago, 4 years ago? I mean, everything that we've read about, you've gone through a lot of ups and downs in the past few years.
Then he asks him if he's a better person than he was 4 or 5 years ago. What the fuck kind of a question is that? But of course, this is just him leading up to bring up Mel's past.
Do you think that the public will perceive you any differently after all that's been in the news about you?
What are you referring to specifically?
Referring to the, the drinking problems, referring to what's been called the anti-Semitic
That's
rant, referring
yeah, that's
all those things. You know what I'm
yeah,
talking about.
okay, so yeah, that's almost 4 years ago, dude. I mean, I've moved on. I guess you haven't.
Well,
So
I'm
fine.
just wondering if you think that the public has moved on and will perceive you in the same light.
Well, I certainly hope so. You know, it is a while back, and I've done all the necessary mea culpas. So, let's move on, dude. Come on.
Edge of Darkness opens today. It's good to see you back in the saddle and doing what you do best. Thanks a lot for joining us, Mel. Take care.
Bye bye. Asshole.
What a fucking douchebag this guy is. Mel is doing this interview at 6 in the morning, which means he woke up at 5 in the morning to talk to this cunt and promote his movie. This isn't Barbara Walters or 60 Minutes. He's not here to defend himself for the 100th time about shit that happened almost 4 years before this. He's here to sell a movie. Mel Gibson had every right to call this guy an asshole because he is an asshole. Listen, Mel Gibson is a complex human being. Like everyone else in the world, he's made some mistakes and he said some horrible things. Unlike everybody else, his mistakes were recorded and played around the world. Imagine if someone recorded you at your absolute worst and drunken moment. Pretty sure you'd be saying things that you would regret for the rest of your life. Personally, I think Mel Gibson is an incredibly talented artist. He's one of my favorite directors of all time, and he's made some not so great movies, but he's motherfucking Mad Max, the Road Warrior. I love him as an actor and as a person, but I did not love Edge of Darkness. So that's my review. I'm Jacob from Cinema Junkies. Thanks for watching. Keep watching, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, hit that like button, and follow me on Instagram, cinemajunkies_. Don't forget the underscore.
Asshole.